what does your company do? And, who's using it, who are the users, and how are you impacting health equity?
So I'm Rajesh. I'm a co-founder at Clint. I'm also a cardiologist at Stanford. And Clint is solving health disparities in clinical research and clinical care. Currently, clinical trials fail to recruit in over 86% of trials, and therefore that leads to delayed clinical development and life-saving therapies reaching the market and reaching those patients. And 55% of the time, patients are not receiving evidence-based care. This leads to worse outcomes, and in particular, disadvantaged and underrepresented groups are suffering the most from those outcomes being worse. Clint solves both of these problems. It has a clinical intelligence layer on top of electronic health record data that makes EHR data higher quality and more clinically accurate. And by codifying medical guidelines and inclusion and exclusion criteria for trials, shows health systems and clinical research teams every eligible patient within their entire health system who is eligible for that trial. You can sort that list by underrepresented groups, namely elderly patients, female patients, and underrepresented minorities and socioeconomically disadvantaged groups. By shining a light on those underrepresented groups, sites can oversample from those underrepresented groups and get more diverse patients into their trials. The FDA mandate to do this is best served by a Clint solution for life science companies and health systems to bring the best representative patients into their trials.
How have you really moved the needle with a particular group in your work?
Yeah, so Clint is really able to help diversify clinical trial recruitment in a very focused way. I mentioned enriching your eligibility lists for those underrepresented groups, but just an example from the sponsor side, they're under a mandate, under the FDA mandate to do this. Otherwise, they may not approve their drugs or even publish their manuscripts of their trials. So we've had top 5 pharma companies come to us saying, can you help us find eligible patients across the country who are Black and Hispanic or Latinx or of a certain demographic? And we can do that almost instantly on our platform, align that and superimpose clinical sites, and even identify PIs for them to go after to say, please onboard yourself as a site and recruit these patients for our trial. So we're really focused, and then we can transition immediately into giving those PIs identifiable lists of patients. And we are doing that actively with about 23 different pharma sponsors right now.